So this video is going to be about a movie theater called Pacific Theatres, Northridge Fashion Center 10. And we're going to be talking to, well, we have some blueprints over here in the Bush dimension. We're going to go talk about those. Talk about some of the characteristics of the movie theater. But first, we're just kind of ramble about, like, why does it matter so much to me that 10 years ago today, they got rid of all their film projection capabilities. See, I'd been to it once, like around 2008, and I saw, I'm blanking, I don't know what it was. This is a Jim Carrey movie. Oh yeah, it was Yes Man. That's what it was. I saw Yes Man in Auditorium number 9 at that place. And it was like, it's a pretty cool theater. I didn't think much of it at the time because I had access to all kinds of other film theaters I would go to. And then, you know, they start their little digital projection thing. I lived in a different place where there was this Carmike Jokers, and I saw how they did digital projection, and it's like, it really soured my taste to it, how they would just push everything to the minimum. It's like, we're gonna bring in these machines, we're gonna fire everybody. So some time passes, and I went to go to my local Cinemark over here, and they had gone digital projection. I was like, I'd rather go see film, and then I remembered, oh yeah, that place in Northridge. So I started going there, and then I realized all their auditoriums are 35 millimeter. They only have, they have 2 digital projectors, but they're just like on the side. They would only use them for 3D. We'll get into that in the tech talk section later, but the important part is like, I started going there, and the film shows were so good that there's this other theater in like Ontario where they had a giant 35 millimeter screens, and they made the screen smaller to accommodate digital projection, and that blew my mind. That blew my mind that I forgot to talk about that in this video. See, that's why I started just like, okay, you're gonna make the screen smaller to put it in your little digital projection. So all this stuff has rubbed me the wrong way, and I start going to Northridge Fashion Center 10, and it's like, this is great. And I reaffirmed like this is what I want out of life. I want to go to places. I want to see stuff on 35 millimeter like this. I can work here. I can have a purpose in my life, because before then I kind of just wandered like a hobo. Like, what is life? I'm stuck here in a meat sack body. What is the point? What is the meaning? And when I started going there, it gave my life meaning for the first time. It was beautiful. So let's start talking about the tech talk aspect, I guess. So let's just start describing the auditorium. Oh, I can't see because there's glare. That's wonderful. Okay, that's better. Hold my hand over it. So, didn't really plan this out well. So here's the north-south indicator. I don't know if you can see that. I got sun glare in my face. So the screens are all like that. This is where the screens are. And here's the projection. I can't see. I have to put this somewhere else. That's better. So like I said, up here, like, those are the screens. Those are the screens. Screens are all on like the outer edge, and then the projector, like that, right? So all the auditoriums are a good size. Theaters 3 and Theater 9 are the biggest auditoriums there. And they have a little exit doors that go out to this little top deck area we'll talk about in a minute on the 2nd floor. Because it's stadium seating, of course, and then you go out the back on the 2nd floor up here through these little doors into this little patio area we'll talk about shortly. So Theater 10 was like a slightly smaller version of these over here. It didn't have none of these other ones have a back exit, just these 2. So a slightly smaller version of that. And then you have a couple other ones over here that are smaller than that. And these are these are all the same size. All those and those are about the same size, except number 7. It's a little bit smaller, but it's still pretty big. And they only had 2 digital projectors, like I said. Oh no, the wind. So they had digital projector in here on the side, just to show 3D, and they had digital projector in this theater on the side, just to show 3D. And in fact, I saw the George Lucas movie Red Tails in Auditorium 6 on 35 millimeter film and the digital projector. It just sat there and did nothing. It did nothing. They showed the movie on film, even though they had a digital projector there. Because they weren't lazy. They actually cared. That's why Pacific Theaters isn't around anymore. Because they didn't want to like boss people around and tell them, oh, show us your medical records, you know, put a ball gag in your mouth to come in the building. They didn't want to do that to people, so they closed their business. Now this is owned by AMC, which I only found out today. And it makes me infuriated. So let's talk about some other characteristics of this place. The surround sound was perfect. Imagine we're in a building right now, and like I kind of looked up to like where the ceiling is, where the wall goes up and meets the ceiling. Then the surround sound's up like that. And it worked really well. It gave you a very ambient surround imaging. I really love the way the surround sound worked. Had nice thumpy bass. When I saw that movie Drive in theater number 9, and you bottom out the car, boom, get a nice big thump. And it had colors, like the colors of the fabric in the auditoriums. It was perfect. It was so perfect. I think it did something to like boost the contrast level. It made everything, I don't know what it was. It was special. It was magic. And this theater, when you would, they had the best looking 35mm prints. If I could take people back in time and show them the film prints there, I mean, they'd understand why I'm like this, that it looks so much clearer. The colors would just pop, and like it's sometimes like it would look holographic, like 3D without glasses. That's how good the film prints were. So let's talk about the screens. Like these, refer to my RIP ArcLight video for information about like screen aspect ratios, but like imagine, okay, you gotta know like scope and flat, right? So they have flat shaped screens where it's 1.85 to 1, and then they just drop it like this. Drop a thing down the top to make the, to put a scope image on the bottom of the 1.85 to 1 screen. So basically the way it would work is, if you knew you were gonna watch a scope movie, you just sit closer. If you knew you were gonna watch a flat movie, just sit further back. When you sit closer for a scope movie, it would still be like in a really nice big screen. Even in the smallest auditorium, screens were big. It's in auditorium 7. It was, like I said, it was a little bit smaller. If you sat all the way in the back, the speakers behind the screen kind of didn't like reach you that well. It sounded a little muffled. But if you sat like a few more rows forward, it sounded good. I saw Life of Pi at theater number 7. I cried my eyes out. I was drunk on this stuff called Hypnotic. And then I left. I went out to got exit doors underneath the screen and went out. Did whatever drunken stuff that night. Because at one time, because I knew the sort of end was coming, so I scientifically optimized my enjoyment of this place. I would drink and watch movies here. I would just stay there like a hobo and just hang around the theater and go see a bunch of movies on one trip. The only real problem this theater had was some of the screens, they seemed to have like a night, like a, you know how like to have 2.35 to 1 in like the 70s and 80s, and then went to like 2.39 to 1. It seemed like they had like the older scope lens where it didn't stretch it out, like it was still stretched vertical when you watch the scope movie, just like the tiniest little bit. I remember seeing Cowboys and Aliens, which was a scope film, in Auditorium 3, and I remember kind of looking like that. And I was like, when I first started going there, it's not that great for scope movies, but I just didn't care after a while. Because it was just so perfect. Besides the minor, some auditoriums having problems with scope movies. It wasn't that big of an issue, it was great. Except for like the employees. So like on film, you'd like projecting this image right here, right? But it's got like an image on the top or like the bottom, and the projector would be like off. So you see like the other film frame like up here going. And the projectors would just like turn the projector and just go, and like it'd be misframed like this. You want to frame like that, and it's framed like that. And then they just wouldn't fix it. And I have to go complain. So it's like customers didn't appreciate what they had, employees didn't appreciate what they had. I was like the only one who appreciated the place. It's like the best 35mm theater. And no one even cared. And I saw a film in all the different auditoriums. I only saw one like number 4 once, I think, but I've seen a film in all of them, all the auditoriums. The last film I saw was Guilt Trip, 10 years ago today, in auditorium number 5. And that was the night that they brought in the digital projectors. They had the digital projectors lined up in the hallway down here. You go into the auditoriums like that, obviously. They had digital projectors lined up, 8 of them. Because they're just going to abandon the film projectors in there and just use the digital projector that's in there. Had the projectors lined up in boxes in this back hallway here. And it's just like heartbreaking. You just, I'm watching the film and it's like, this is it. This is the last. And it's why I am the way I am. Like when the film was over, I said to the guys cleaning up, I said, we'll all be robots someday. We got robot projectors, robot customers. We're just all robots. So after this place was gone, they converted it over to digital projection. It's like there's nothing beautiful in my life anymore. Everything is like ugly. There's no meaning, no beauty to anything. And I go into Walmart and they have vinyl records. They have vinyl records at Walmart, which are probably just a digital output, with a good DAC, and they pressed it to a record. But it's like, we can have vinyl records at Walmart, we can have NASCAR, we can have all this stuff that they throw away money on, but I can't have my thing. Why can't I just have one auditorium where they show film? Why can't I have a multiplex, again, that shows film? I'm willing to pay a premium price. I'm willing to pay. Can I just pay a premium price to have the real thing? Because see, when I go and watch digital projection, I can't do it. I haven't gone to see a digital projection show since 2013. Because it doesn't do anything for me. When I go and see a movie on digital projection, it's like if a guy took you on a date. Imagine if you're a lady, right? And a guy takes you on a date, and he takes you to McDonald's for the first date, the first time you're out together. And not only that, when he's taking you out to McDonald's on the date, he's like at McDonald's, he's acting like hot stuff. Like, oh, I'm a big roller, I'm taking you in and he's like acting like he's a big deal when he's taking you to McDonald's. It's like, no. So let's talk about like why I like film better. It's because it's the smoothest way to make 24 frames per second happen. When you watch 24 frames per second on digital projector, it's like it's not right. I can see the compression algorithms like a YouTube video when I watch digital cinema. I remember seeing like at ArcLight, when I would go to ArcLight, sometimes they would show digital cinema previews before the actual film started because they had film there. And I was forced to watch it. And that was after 23. But I wasn't paying for digital, so it doesn't count. But anyways, I'm forced to watch it, and I can see the compression algorithms in the video. It's like, bro, we all spend all day looking at our phones, looking at our computer monitors at work, playing video games on digital. It is so offensive that they want to make the theater be that. The whole point is you just go have an escape. It was easy. Film is easier on my eyeballs. It's less harsh. I like the way like Pixar digital animation movies look on film. And they're all still 24 frames per second anyways. I don't know why they still do that. Since there's no film anymore anyways, I don't know why they continue to do that. And and here's the thing, it's like, here's my big thing. Let's just go walk over here, I guess. Give you guys something better to look at. It should be let me put it this way. They should make the Academy Awards. They should make it where if you want to be eligible for the Academy Award, you have to make at least 100 copies of your movie on 35mm film and make it available to the public. Why should they have to do that? It's because when you're forced to pay like $3,000 per copy of the movie, per auditorium or whatever, it proves your intent that you're actually making something you care about. It's not just some reboot, just some money grab. It's like when you release a movie that doesn't even have any film prints at all. You're basically saying, I have no confidence in what we're making, we don't care, we're just making a product. We're just going to make a product and it's just throw it away when you're done. We don't even have any confidence in our own product. That's what I can't take you guys seriously when you release your movie on digital like that. Just make it available on 35mm. Make a few copies where it's available to the public. That's why I haven't seen any of the new Star Wars. I saw Episode 7, and you can research this yourselves. It's a theater in Hollywood, a little one-screen theater in Hollywood. They played Star Wars Episode 1, or not Episode 1, Episode 7. on 35 millimeter, but J.J. Abrams paid for that out of his own pocket. And the Disney was like, shh, don't tell anyone. Don't tell the other theaters that we forced to go pay $100,000 per digital projector to go get digital projection to have Star Wars. That would happen sometimes. Like, oh, we have this on 35 millimeter, but shh, it's a secret or whatever. And they destroyed that print. I saw it before it got destroyed. And I'm thinking it was sabotage. So, we're going to make it so it's probably going to be the last 35 millimeter film most people will be able to see, and they're going to remember doing some scratched up piece of crap. When film is done properly, it doesn't have these problems that people think it does. Places like Cinemark would use these film system projectors, like the worst kind of projector, even back then. Had a dim image, poor quality film platters. You saw a movie on film with like a Kineton projector at a place like ArcLight. It would be smooth. The frame wouldn't jitter around. This place, the Pacific Theaters Northridge Fashion Center 10, it had simplex projectors. They weren't as good as the ones at ArcLight. They were pretty damn decent. I was always really happy with it. Like I said, it made my life have meaning, and then they took it away from me. That's what has made me this person. Is that, like I said, I had nothing. It's like I died, and they took a flawed recording of my consciousness, put it on a chip, and they shoved it in the brain of a clone body, and here I am. Everything, it's like, this is no way to live. There's no beauty. It's like, it's terrible. The bushes off my drawing. There, that's better. And I can't see. Let's take a look. I can't see, but there's a mountain over there. There's a mountain. I can't even go there anymore, behind that mountain, because of all that stuff I'm not allowed to talk about on this platform. Because everyone down there is completely out of their minds. And I wanted to go down there to make this video. And I might have done it if I didn't know it's owned by AMC. Now, if I saw that building with AMC badge on it, I would throw my guts up. Let me tell you guys a story from Film Tech. So, certain projectionist from Texas. I'd link you guys. Go to film-tech.com. Go register in the forums and tell them I was telling this story, and they'll link you to it or whatever, right? So, the projectionist guy we're talking about here, he's giving me the example. Well, not me, but the people in the thread example of two different kinds of people. Had a jock guy who'd never done this kind of stuff, film handling before, and he had this woman, older woman, well, older than the jock guy, like middle-aged woman, right, who'd worked at AMC, and the AMC woman, she'd never get it right. She'd always set up the film wrong, where it gets scratched, where she'd do it wrong, and he trained her to do it right, but she'd always just do it wrong. Jock guy would do it right. He'd do it right. That's what AMC does. AMC, they just run into the ground. It's like, we know digital projection is coming soon, so we're going to do such a bad job, so it's dirty, it's scratched up, and that's what people associate with 35mm film. They don't want people clamoring for it. They just want you to be dumb, dull, and happy with their mediocre digital projection. I mean, most auditoriums are just 2K. It's like a few pixels wider than 1080p. You're basically you're paying money to watch a YouTube video in the theater. Granted, most of those film prints I was seeing back then were just digital movie printed onto 35mm. At least that way it would be 4K. You got a film print, you're gonna be getting a 4K version, and it has better colors, better black. Look, here's a good example. I saw that Evil Dead remake in a Cinemark XD, and it looked like crap. Horror movies are better on film because digital projection, when it projects black, it's like a dark gray. So you're watching a movie where it's in the dark and it's like gray. It doesn't even look like dark, it looks like gray. But you put the same thing on film, the blacks are black, and it looks the way see, the technology for taking the digital intermediate or whatever and putting it on 35mm film it's a better technology than the stupid digital projector. You shouldn't have to go buy $100,000 projector. It's the film studio's responsibility to make the films, and they send it to you. You just keep using the same, film projector like it's standard. And it's very interesting that most of these places that had film, they had a little LCD like home digital projector on the side that would show like advertising. Why don't they just show the movie on that? It's not like anyone would complain. No, you have to go buy $100,000 a piece stupid digital projector. You have to. You don't have a choice. And what about people's prosperity? What all of the prosperity of all the people who are working in these theaters, putting the films together, the people who made the film prints, all those people just know you get to not have a job. And that's the only reason they did this, is so they could just fire people. We just want to fire as many people as possible. And those same people think they're not going to get sacked eventually too, and just replaced by a computer console. It's pathetic. I mean, like you go see a digital movie, you're watching the same grid. If say you watch a movie, let's say it's a single screen auditorium. A single screen multiplex, not a multiplex, a single screen theater. You go in there, say that's where you go to see a movie every week. You're seeing the same grid of pixels every week. It's the same. When you make a new film print, you can continuously upgrade the technology in the film print. You can put like little silver speckly things in the film print. You can do all kinds of stuff to the film print. You basically get a new thing in the projector every time with the film print. You can have new, clearer films, better films. No, just put it on a DVD. It's fine. And I guess this is a hill I'm gonna die on or whatever, but it's like, we all gotta have something we like to go do with ourselves. I mean, what am I gonna do? Go work some slave job to make money so I could do what? Stare at the wall and drink myself retarded? Going and seeing 35mm film, 70mm, and 35mm. I need a big epic event. Okay, like that's what does it for me. I got a bunch of film. It's an event. It takes sort of engineering prestige to make it work. You don't just go in there and push a button. You have to have people who know what they're doing. It takes some effort. You can rewind the video and listen to my previous example of like how mediocre I think. It's like, really? This is what makes the art form, is that you have to pay for the film prints to make it work. That's the finished item. It's on a film print. It exists in the mixed. That's what makes it magical. You take a Pixar movie and you put it on a film print. It becomes real. It's like it exists as a physical object in the physical world. It becomes real. Just go and see a digital projector. It's like we don't even care. I mean, it's like and this thing too. I liked digital projection for the 3D. I used to go see stuff on RealD 3D, which is the better format at the time, because they had like fake. They had the crappy 3D, digital 3D, and then RealD 3D, which was the proper one, and those were pretty good. Pardon me, I'm a Rick and Morty burp. And I would have accepted it if they would have just kept both. I mean, just have half the auditoriums digital and have half of them showing film. You want to see it like super clear, you can get it on Blu-ray, and they just release that's the thing. They just release the movies just straight to DVD, and it comes out in the theater. It's in the theater for like 5 minutes, and it's out on video. It's out on video at the same time as it is in the theater. And I think seeing movies should be something you see in the theater. If you want to see it on home video, you can do that, but you should have to wait like a year or more. Just have it on film. And plus too, like having it on film, it's like copyright protection, because if you see a bootleg and it's got like scratch marks on it, you'll be able to deduce what theater that was by the scratch marks. It's like built-in copy protection. They're so worried about that. I have Blu-ray discs that if you have a composite cable connected, for any reason, it will just shut the player down. Because on my system, I have like a little TV set up. Well, I used to. I have like a little TV set up, so I can just see where to get everything set up on the menus and everything, get the language, DTS audio set up or whatever like that, and have the movie pause at 000. And then when everyone's ready to go watch the movie, turn the small TV off, turn the big TV on, and just start the movie. But no, if you have some of these Blu-rays that are, like I said, having that composite cable connected for my little TV, just video assist TV or whatever you want to call it, it locks up the player. It literally won't, everything locks up. Nope, can't watch the movie, can't do nothing, because they're so worried about copyright or whatever. And that time that happened, I went and seen King Pig, and he had that same exact movie as a bootleg on his PS3. So I paid for the movie, and I'm treated like this. They're so worried about people stealing their, just make good films. big epic films where that's the whole point of having it on 35mm, because it forces. Okay, go look up the guy who directed Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 6. As much of an idiot as he was for the whole, we're gonna have Picard and Kirk like hand the keys over to the Enterprise, even though there's 80 years difference in generations. That's why they have the whole stupid Star Trek Generations idea. Stupid idiots that don't know Star Trek. But anyways, he did have one good point though, which was that he has this, whichever the guy who directed Star Trek 2, I can't remember his name, but he had this idea that he has like a restriction fetish. That restrictions are what breed great art. And what greater restriction than having to pay $3,000 for every copy of the movie? It kind of forces you to make something that's a little bit epic. You're gonna make something that's big, that's epic, that's a experience to behold. That you'd be like, oh my God, I'm gonna take my friends to go see that. But like we live this high where everybody's on their phone. Nobody has time to go see it in the theater. I don't have time to go see it in the theater. I'll just watch it on my phone. You may as well just watch it on your phone, because it's the exact same technology that's in the theater. Why don't movie theaters just have a couple auditoriums that show, oh, we can't do that because if people actually saw the 35mm was its potential, then they wouldn't go see your like garbage movies that are like, oh, we just make it on video or whatever. So I used to take flowers on the anniversary of when they did this to this place, which is today, the 20th. I'd take flowers every year and film in it. Oh, hold on, I have some film right here. Film. I take some film and some flowers, and I leave them filming the flowers, and like have something written on it, usually like, oh, they'll never this time will never come again, or some poetic crap like that or whatever. Because it was my only way to try to show the industry, like, look, you know, and they would give me what I wanted for a little while, like back in the 2017, 2016, 2017, 2018 a little bit. They're kind of giving me what I wanted. They had like, oh, that one movie. What was that one movie? Oh, The Phantom Thread. I saw that 70mm at ArcLight like literally 9 times. Saw the first print once. Saw the second print 8 times. The 70mm below print. So they were kind of giving me what I wanted. Then that thing happened like 2-3 years ago that I'm not allowed to talk about on this platform. And then ArcLight Cinemas and Pacific Theaters went bye-bye. Should note too that the last film they ever showed here was Interstellar, and they probably showed it in Auditorium 3, because that would have been, these are probably the last 2 projectors that still worked, because they probably just took the other projectors and just scrapped it all, and now that EMC owns it, they more than likely did. And there's another Northridge, or another Pacific Theaters down the street, if you saw my other video, RIP ArcLight Pacific Theaters video, that, and I don't even know what happened to that. I don't want to know. They reduced the amount of auditoriums and put in toilet seats, like luxury toilet seating. Just want a regular theater with regular seats, like from back then. Just a regular. You don't want luxury seats. You should be on the edge of your seat. You should be watching something that's compelling, where you're on the edge of your seat. You have to, if they put in luxury toilet seating, then there's something wrong. Like all these IMAX theaters, they strip out all the IMAX equipment. They put in stupid Dolby Atmos, but the auditorium was never even designed for it. And then it's just digital projection. It's like, okay, so the fact that there's theaters on the ceiling is supposed to make me forget that it's not even film anymore, that it's a crappy digital projection on an IMAX screen, it's a fake IMAX. Okay. Like I said, they have vinyl records at Walmart. Can I just give me one auditorium where they show films daily? Where they don't show digital projections. There's just one auditorium to work with, and then my life will have some kind of meaning. I like have anxiety. I was like, you know, so after they got rid of this place, well, there were still film places kind of lingering. At the end of 2015, the ability to see anything new on film was almost completely gone. I saw Baby Driver in 2017. That was my last 35mm film I ever saw. But it's mostly over, and it's like, after Northridge, I was just like back to just being wandered. Like, what am I gonna go do with myself? What am I gonna go do? And I just didn't care about stuff. And it's just like, you see the things I've done on this channel where I'm calling movie theaters and bothering them, and that's why. It's why I do it, to kind of protest, and it's kind of a sick thing too. Like, hey, you know, you guys can't provide me with the entertainment I'm looking for, so I'm gonna use you guys yourselves as the entertainment. I was gonna do hobo-sodes, you know. at least one episode every month where I bother movie theaters for the rest of my life if I could. But I got these medical problems that have come up that have been dwelling for the past 23 years that I'm just now trying to get fixed. So it'll be like in a year or two before we even do Hobosodes again. I don't even know if I'm going to return. So I've made my point. I mean, what do I have to do? Just let me have a place that shows on 35mm. I've been keeping track of my ticket stubs since like 2013 because I quit in sometime in 2013 because it was just breaking my heart so much. I was like, I'm never even gonna go to a movie theater again. I'm done. And then I started doing it again. And when I did, I would take a picture of all my ticket stubs, and I was kind of doing this film series where I was gonna have all the proof, all the pictures of the auditoriums, seeing films there, so I could say, look, I did all this effort, I spent all this money to go see all these films. So I could try to make some kind of point to the industry, like, look guys, I'm raining money down here. I'm raining money. Come, please give me what I asked for and I'll give you the money. I mean, what is so hard to understand about that? Everybody has watched on these flat screens to let people have film. I'm sure that people go see it just because it'd be different. It'd be a different visual experience than all these digital displays. Everyone look at the computer monitor, the phone. But no, we don't want to pay. It'd be like if you went to the car wizard. It'd be like, Car Wizard, I want you to work on my car, and I want you to do it for free, and I want you to pay for the parts. The car wizard would be like, hell no, bro. You gotta pay me. And that's what this is. It's like, oh, we're gonna just do this, but we don't want to pay the projectionists or to make the film prints anymore. And we're just gonna make mediocre crap, and we're gonna come out in the theater, have it there, and just make a few bucks, put it on streaming, make a few bucks, then we're done. Not like when it was running, granted there was a lot of stinkers in the film days. Just take a look at the average movie from when it had to be on film to now, the average movie. And it speaks for itself. They had to take a little more time to make something that was special back then. Why don't you guys do some, quality over quantity? And I guess it's a lot to ask for to have another multiplex that's all 35mm, but just give me an auditorium. Give me 2 auditoriums. Where I'm running on, where we're going, and I could go do something I like to do for a living instead of bothering people on the phone. I think everybody wins. I'm not sure, I guess I am. I admit it. I try to take the world hostage to the telephone to just bother them until they give me what I want. Well, let's talk about some of my other trolling too. Like, I used to just leave all kinds of money and stuff in the auditoriums to try to just show the industry, look, I'm raining money here, literally. Arclight knows. A lot of these guys know what I did. I only did it to just try to show, look, I have the interest in this, I have money, I'm willing to pay the money. I'm willing to pay. Whoa, my recording messed up there. Sorry about that. I'm willing to pay a premium price to see the premium product. Like I keep saying, I'm repeating myself here. It's a wonderful place. And like I said, I can't even go there to leave flowers anymore because what are the AMC people? No one's going to care. Maybe next year I'll go leave flowers there like I used to. But I'm too angered. I'm too sickened to do it this year. And plus, when you cross that border of the mountains, everyone acts crazy. They want you to put a ball gag in your mouth to go in anywhere. They want to see your medical records to come in. Can I say that on YouTube? That they force you to show your medical records? And the only place to eat down there is In-N-Out because they're the only place who doesn't do that to people, that serves food or whatever. And what am I going to do? Go down there to go leave flowers at this dead theater? And then my car breaks down and I can't even get parts to fix my car because they won't let me in the AutoZone or whatever? This video is not about that, but I mean, it kind of is. That's why, like I said, Pacific Theaters, you guys can go read their statement. They basically said, hey, it's no longer feasible to have a business where it can be chillaxed and we can just let people come in because we have to frisk people with their medical records for them to come into the theater now. And AMC was like, yeah, we're totally willing to do that. AMC took this one, and then Cinemark took the other one that was like, I forget which ones are called. AMC took this one, and then Cinemark took that one ArcLight. So Cinemark and AMC, they're like, yeah, we'll do that to people. We're more than willing to make people show their medical records and all that. We're more than willing. But Pacific Theaters and ArcLight were like, you know what? Our brand integrity like kind of means something to us. So we're just going to close our business. We really don't have a choice. We'd rather not even have a business than to ruin our reputation like that. Well, that's my interpretation of what they said. Like I said, go watch the REP ArcLight video. It's a good companion video to this. So I don't know what to do anymore. That's why I play around with stereo equipment, and then that brings me a little bit of joy in my life. But it's just boring. I'm bored. I want to go see stuff on film. It takes I need a challenge. I need something. I need industrious things that are challenged to do. I mean, I don't want to see video game stuff when I go to see a movie. I don't. And I'm just carrying on here, so I guess that's it. Let's go explore, I guess. Let's just make this an explore video. Let's go down this mountain. Let's just find some film. Maybe there's a projectionist down here. He's like, I used to work at Cinemark, but now I live here in this bush because they don't have any film projectionists anymore. Oh my god. Oh, I tripped over a rock. Ouch. Some pallets. A tree and some pallets and a thing over there. Alright. So maybe someday someone will have the cojones to start making stuff on 35mm, and some theater chains will be like, yeah, we want to get down on that. And then, you know, convert back a couple auditoriums to 35mm. Have like a couple shows a day. Because a lot of these theaters, they have half the auditoriums closed off anyways. Just take one of those medium-sized auditoriums that's closed off like that, and just make it a film auditorium. Show a film a couple times a day. But that's the thing, I want it daily. I want film shown daily, where no matter what's going on in my life, I can go see a 35mm film, because that's what makes me happy, and that's what you know. We should all be able to allow it to be what we want to do, to go do something that is fulfilling with our life. But that's not the world we live in. We just want you to be a Borg drone, stay inside. No fun allowed. You're not allowed to have fun. Hug a bubble. Like, you're not allowed to hug anymore. You gotta hug like there's a visible bubble that's 9 foot wide or whatever. And just have everything be mediocre. Like, why even take the effort? It's easier just to push a button, right? Just push a button. Don't actually, like, we don't want prosperity. We don't want prosperity. We just want Borg drones. We don't want anything good. We just want Borg drones. Just like automatons and Borg drones. You just sync the audio directly into your cyber brain. Yeah, you don't even need Dolby Atmos. You can be cyberized with your cyber brain, and then sync up the digital projector right to your brain. And you don't even have a digital projector. It's just like connect the Ethernet port directly to your brain and have direct brain digital cinema. I'm not even sure what the point of this video is anymore. Bush. Into the bush dimension to try to find an imaginary film auditorium. There it is. It's in there. There's all the film tech people. Hey, look, you guys, it's all the film tech people. They're being film handlers again. They're being film handlers again over in an auditorium, all the film tech people. And they're actually like doing film stuff. You know, their website is called film-tech.com. But look, they're actually doing film stuff over there. Can't you see it? Oh, it's just a mirage. Damn, it's just a mirage. I thought there was actually film tech people who were doing some film handling over there. Any film handlers? Anyone who knows how to run 35mm film? Anyone? Anywhere? Oh God. Okay guys. That's all for now. So hopefully someone will have the cojones and we can have 35mm film someday. That'd be great. Okay. We're signing off from the Bush dimension. Whoosh. Signing off from the Bush dimension. Yeah.